Okay,
Yeah.
so today I'm joined by Aleksandar Yankov. He's going to be fighting for the first ever belt on your fighting championship, the lightweight championship. He fights out compound martial arts and he fights out DCA as well. So this will be. He's had multiple appearances on the show. He's had some very good. His last four fights have been excellent performances. The results haven't gone his way, but he's finally getting a pro title shot. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me.
Appreciate it. I'm very good, thank you. Just last week of basically hard work before the weight cut week. Yeah, I'm in good spirits, very, very strong. Technique is growing well. Yeah, excited, very, very excited to put on another show for the fans of EOR Championship.
Yeah, you've become a regular there at your fighting championship. Did you expect to get a title shot? Because you have had very good performances, like I said, in your last four that I've seen personally, regardless of what way the results went. And because you're kind of one of the main, you probably appeared more than anyone on that show. Were you expecting to get the title shot now?
I wasn't thinking, to be honest. Not necessarily because I don't want a title or anything like that, but for me, it's just another fight, and then I get a shiny belt after it when I win. That's how it is.
And your last performance, I must say, was quite clinical. Your elbows, your striking, everything was so crisp, clean. The whole package was crisp and clean. Do you want to talk about your last performance?
Okay, no problem. Yeah, it felt I don't know, like things kind of aligned themselves in a great way. I was able basically to go full circle with everything regarding striking, grappling. And so I was basically just utilizing the skills I've gathered for the last 10 years, and I was making it as a complete game. So me and my coaches know that I can do that. So it's just now to show to the world.
Yeah, you we spoke earlier in the year and you outlined you had three targets this year. One of them you
Yeah,
reached with that one. Can you run through them again with me just to keep
absolutely
them?
no problem. Yeah. The first one was to get a TKO, which I did in my last fight. I had wanting to fight three times before the mid of the year, which I'm not going to be able to complete. So the only thing left is basically to get a left high kick knockout. So that's my chance basically to redeem myself on next Sunday.
So basically we're gonna be looking for that left high kick. That's one of the ones you want to redeem yourself on. Um
Absolutely.
in regards to your opponent, I've looked him up, I've seen his record. He's quite good on the ground as well. Have you researched him much yourself, or how much research do you do?
I do quite a lot, yeah. I try basically to see how when they have fought, where they have fought, what kind of style they like, what kind of style they struggle against, what kind of style they do well at, and make my decisions with my coaches after that.
And then obviously you've got Ushin and you've got Collie. And I'd say the two of them are quite technical when it comes down to breaking fighters down. Obviously, you've got Ushin in the wrestling
Very.
department, Collie in the striking. What's it like bouncing off them, looking at fights,
Um,
breaking down a fighter? How fun is that? Or is it fun? Does it feel like work?
no, it feels like fun. It feels like something I've signed myself to do. I take very big joy and pride in what I'm doing. So I really enjoy it. Like it's my passion, and I can compete about it, and I can make my living off it. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a good fight. Main event title fight. I can't wait for it. Like I said, I've been to all the Euro fighting championships. I've seen most of your. I've seen all your fights there live. You're an absolute pleasure to watch. With the dynamic with Collie and Oshin in it as well, I think is quite interesting. How do you find that as a fighter, having two people that are experts in their area to be able to
Yeah,
coach you through a fight?
it's unbelievable. He's just taking approach. Ocean has always have told me he's always been on the lookout for specialists or people that understand the game as much as he does. They have the same passion, so he's always giving me the approach of needing possibly to find a specific coach for grappling or specific coach for striking, and training with Kali, training with everyone from DCA really really helps with that. Training with everyone in compound really helps with that, since Oshin runs a tight ship regarding his technique, how to spend the times on the mats, how to basically utilize all the 3 hours we spend usually daily there in the evening times. and we are paying dividends. My teammates Emer, Darcy, and Aaron Boyle are gonna fight in UR championships as well. Aaron Boyle is gonna defend his title. Emer is gonna fight, I believe, her second MMA fight, coming, basically shit hot from the kickboxing scene in Ireland. So yeah, very, very exciting, and you guys are gonna see all that in display in our performances on Sunday.
Yeah, Emer's one I took interest in. I talked to her just before her MMA fight. I seen she had the kickboxing fight there recently, which she done quite well. She done very well. And then obviously you've got Aaron, who won the belt against Adam, who was a very, very top fighter in his own right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of talent coming out there. What's it like when you're coming up to a fight and there's like that, there's three competitors on the card from the gym? What's the atmosphere like?
Great, because we have all a goal to strive upon, and it's just, it aligns, the times align. We're all pushing through it, we're pushing each other, we're also pushing ourselves. It is very, very good. We are all three own individuals, we have completely different tactics for our fights, yet we can gather together and work with one another to basically help one another. So it's very good.
And in regards to this being a title fight, like you said, it's not that you don't want a belt, but it's just another fight. Has your training changed? Has it been more intense, or is it still at that high intensity level?
I'm always looking to make it more intense after each fight, and I think it's gonna show in the future, in the near future, next Sunday, and in the future after that. That I'm always gonna up the intensity. I'm always gonna try to get a bit sharper with each fight, and it's gonna show.
And we're obviously you're not fighting. You're not going to be fighting the three times like by mid year. Have you rejigged your plan by any like? Have you added anything extra to it, or are you just gonna go
No,
for?
that's it's just realization that even getting them two fights in the space of 6 months is pretty good. Now the results to come next Sunday, and I'll be satisfied either way. 2 out of 3 is okay for me. I don't have to be perfectionist, because in the end of the day, when I do my best and I do very, very well next Sunday, it's gonna all outweigh itself in the positive anyway.
Yeah, like that with the two performances you've had coming into this, you're on a 2-fight win streak. Like I said, your elbows. And now I know why they call you Chop Chop. Your elbows in that last one, you were able to break through the guard a lot as well. Is that something you worked on prior to the fight?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, obviously, if I landed the elbows a bit more cleanly, would have been nicer. But they've definitely worked as a guard breaker as well. I'm working on a lot of things, and actually, they call me Chop Chop because of my low kicks. But I suppose it has a dual meaning now at this stage. But yeah, I'm still very, very fresh to elbows. I'm still learning them. I'm nowhere near what I believe I could get to. So one day at a time, I'm learning my way through it, and I'm sure I'm going to be using them next Sunday as well.
I'm sure you will. I can't wait to see it. And like I said, with those two performances, if you have another good performance here, if you get the head kick knockout, like you're saying, or you get TKO, a KO, or dominant victory, with the likes of PFL, Cage Warriors, and all coming to Ireland later in the year, is that something you'd be hopeful to get on?
That'll
If your
be
performance is good, I can't see why not.
that'll be basically the main goal. I mean, the goal was to fight 3 times, do and then basically impress these big shows, and for them to be like, okay, well, we want to give you basically a stage to perform, and go from there. That still is the goal for the later part of the year.
Yeah, because I think they're around November, December sort of time. So like that, if you got this fight, maybe another fight in between, or even like I said, if you have another really good performance, uh Cage Warriors, were you at the event last time? Like I had a host of talent, 8 different gyms, which is good.
I
What you
really
make
like that, and I really respect that. That's unbelievable. That's what we want to see anyway. Everyone getting equal chances, and a lot of people delivered. So it just shows, talent is everywhere in this country.
Yeah, because the talent is quite high Like I see it more so from an amateur level because I go to mostly the regional shows. But pros like yourself, the talent is quite high, and with getting the amount of gyms onto a show like that, would that give you more hope after seeing the likes of the lads like you fought Marston, he was on it. People that you'd rub shoulders with, train with, they were on it. Does that make you more hopeful that like, a chance will come?
I'm not only hopeful, but in my opinion, it's a big case for me to be there as well. So it's not only hope, but I think there is evidence for me to be on these shows. So I
Yeah,
just need to make another basically point on next Sunday and go from there.
yeah. I think with another statement, KO, whatever way you finish it, I think you should definitely be getting onto one of those
There's
shows.
many ways to finish a fight, and it's many, all of them are beautiful. Don't worry about it,
No,
David.
I'll wait and see. I'll wait and see what surprise you have for me on Sunday as well. Being the main event, and for the title, does it add any pressure to you? Do you
Not
think it?
necessarily. I believe the fight itself is the only pressure you could possibly have, but I'm approaching it as someone that's trained his ass off and basically is running towards the challenge. So if you're running towards a challenge, don't be fucking scared. you know, uh, go with the attitude that you'll get shit done.
Perfect, perfect. And then obviously, because with coming up to a title fight, or any sort of a fight, there is pressure. Like you said, this is another fight here. This is one of your goals that you want to achieve before the next step. How do you handle pressure for younger amateur fighters that might not? Because it's not just a fight. There's a whole day and a whole event. How do you manage pressure? Did you struggle at the start, and how have you?
Uh,
Because you seem
funny
quite
enough,
calm.
Yeah, funny enough, I at the beginning when I started, I think it was just like ignorantly blissful, and I did not have a clue what was going on. So I was like, right, I was very, very calm. And then at some stage in my career, I believe I started thinking about, oh Jesus, like how serious it can actually be. And I think that's when I maybe had like a little mental dip. Then after that, I realized like, wait a second, you can't be putting yourself in there and second doubting yourself. So if anyone wants advice and is listening to this, I would tell them you have to work extremely hard, so that way you can trust yourself on the night. um, and you basically have to slowly but surely win little by little and then big by big, and then when the big moment happens, you basically come in with the, how do you say, like habit of winning or habit of being great or having habit of being good at all times, no matter if someone is watching or nobody's watching.
Yeah. Do you think at the mental side, like with the belief in yourself, do you think that's a big factor in success for people, that there is talented people out there, but they don't seem to believe themselves sometimes? Do you think that there's like the mental aspect is overlooked in combat sports in general?
I think in a lot of things, I think it's maybe getting underlooked, but as I said, it's a multi-complex. I believe martial arts is a multi-complex beast in itself, like absolutely everything. So it's very, very easy to be doing a lot of right things and to forget one, how to do that. I believe it is important, but you can see that a lot of people are starting to get more and more into it. They're dealing with, themselves the way they know. So yeah, I think it's more like rising now, and more people are using it. But again, as I said, if you don't actually put the hard work, like you can believe all you want, but you're not going to get the results. So I think the hard work is kind of what makes you confident in yourself, and you know, it's not unusual for you to go in there and do well, because that's how you've seen yourself do for months to years in advance.
Yeah, like you said, and I've heard other fighters say it as well. Once you've put the work in the gym, those little bits of self-doubt start to fade away. Once you know you've gone there, you've prepared the best you can, which you always do. That once you get in there, obviously there's going to be nerves and stuff, but the self-doubt really isn't there once you know you put the work in, because you know he's going to be putting the work in, so you have to match
It's beautiful because he's saying he can beat me. I say I can beat him, and we're about to find out. So it's very very nice. It's honestly really shows who puts the hard work, who is thinking harder, who's thinking about their strategies better. At the end of the day, we're all strong, we're all flexible, we all, but there's something that outlines the other person more than the, and it's usually the wits. It's the game plan, it's the strategies, it's reading the fight faster. That's the work that needs to be put in.
Yeah, because you mentioned strategies, game plans and stuff there as well. But like you mentioned, the wits as well, the fight IQ is one of the most important things. I think in the cage that's under my belief. I don't fight, but
Hmm.
because you could go in with a game plan and they might not have the game plan you taught, and then
You
how
need to be able to readjust on the moment as fast as possible. Quick reaction timing, and yeah, it's that I believe that's what the definition of fight IQ is anyway, or that's what I believe it is, for myself anyway.
yeah, no, and then like that, obviously you've quite a high one. We're gonna go in. I can't wait to see this fight. How excited are you? How's the weight? Uh
Uh, I'm fighting at lightweight, and I usually fight at featherweight, so the weight is actually pretty good. It's not going to be as difficult as a weight cut. I believe I'm still very, very strong for 70 kg. And with the game plans and what we are preparing for this guy, I believe I will have no problem dealing with his bigger size. So it's very, very well. I'm going to be very fresh for that fight.
Perfect. And with your opponent, like you said, you researched him. Is there any bits, obviously, you don't want to give away anything? Is there any things that you've noticed that he does a lot or areas that you feel you can capitalize on?
Yeah, he's just a very strong guy, driven. He moved countries to train and dedicate his life here. So I believe it's going to be a hard fight, and I'm all up for it. I've not picked any easy fights through my amateur careers or through my pro careers, and I'm not going to make that switch now. So I'm very, very excited. I want basically a challenge, and I believe he's going to bring the challenge to me.
No, 100%. I think he will. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. And if people just look through your tapology from amateur to now, they will see the caliber of fighters you fought. You, like you said, you do not turn them down. You take on all comers. You see sometimes now in MMA, certain fighters might take easier fights. Do you think that will derail them eventually in the end? Do you take the hard fights to improve yourself each time?
Yeah, and also because I truly believe, martial arts is about the challenging yourself. So everyone is different, and there's many ways to skin a cat. So you know, everyone has their own reasoning behind, and some people can go through it like that. Some people can go through the hard road and get there. Some people, there's many other things that play in making it in this game. So it's absolutely, everyone has equal chance, no matter if they're going through the hard rounds or taking easier fights. So
Perfect, perfect. Like I said, I've seen the last couple of your fights. I'm delighted you're after getting this opportunity to fight for a title, a main event. I think this is your just due. You've been a mainstay in your fighting championship. You've always been there. You've always showed up. You've always been on weight, always professional, and always so easy to talk to. And you've always brought the performances, whether the result matched your performance or not. You were always there. You're always entertaining. I can't wait to see this fight. I'm going to let you go, but is there anything you want to say before we go?
I just want to thank you, obviously, thank your fighting championship for organizing yet another event, about you allowing me to do the podcast with you. And then to all my training partners in compound martial arts and DCA, for basically training with me, continuing to grow together. And yeah, that's it.
Perfect. I want to thank you so much for your time. Like I said, I cannot wait for this fight. You know I'll be there cage side. Thank you so much for your time because I know, especially with a fight this magnitude coming up, you're under pressure, you're training. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Take care. Have a lovely day.